In California, a landmark piece of legislation that could reshape the future of housing and transportation has just passed the state legislature. The bill, known as SB 79, aims to address two of the state's most pressing issues, a severe housing shortage and struggling public transit systems. It's a plan that has been years in the making, and its passage marks a major moment in California's ongoing debate about how and where to build. The story of SB 79 is really a story of persistence. For years, State Senator Scott Wiener of San Francisco has been trying to pass a law like this. His previous attempts, bills with names like SB 827 and SB 50, sparked intense debate but ultimately failed to become law. This long fight gave the idea of building dense housing near transit what some have called a mythic status in California politics. But this time, after numerous amendments and compromises, the bill, now called the Abundant and Affordable Homes Near Transit Act, has finally succeeded. It has passed both the State Assembly and the Senate and is now headed to Governor Gavin Newsom's desk, where it is expected to be signed. So what does SB 79 actually do? At its core, the law is designed to allow for the construction of taller, denser apartment buildings near major public transit stops. Think of it as a direct response to decades of policies that have often favored single-family homes and sprawling suburbs, which supporters say have driven up housing costs and forced people into long, traffic-filled commutes. The law works through a process called upzoning. This simply means it allows for more homes to be built on a piece of land than local rules previously permitted. Specifically, SB 79 overrides local zoning laws within a half-mile of qualifying transit stations in 8 key counties, including Los Angeles, San Diego, and the Bay Area. The height of the new buildings allowed depends on how close they are to the transit hub. For example, within a quarter-mile of a major station, like a BART or LA Metro subway stop, buildings could reach up to 7 or 8 stories. Directly next to some major hubs, buildings could even be as tall as 9 stories. A key part of the bill is that it also empowers transit agencies to develop the land they own. This could create a new and much-needed source of revenue for these agencies, which have been struggling with declining ridership. The hope is that by building more homes right next to train and light rail stations, more people will be encouraged to use public transportation, creating a positive cycle of more riders and better funded transit. Of course, a bill this significant did not pass without controversy, and it has sparked a passionate debate about the future of California's neighborhoods. On one side are the supporters, often called YIMBYs, which stands for Yes in My Backyard. Groups like California YIMBY, a sponsor of the bill, see this as a historic victory. They argue that for too long, restrictive local zoning has choked the housing supply, making California unaffordable for many. Brian Hanlon, the CEO of California YIMBY, called the bill's passage the achievement of one of his organization's founding goals, to legalize apartments and condos near train stations. On the other side of the debate are those concerned about the loss of local control and the character of their communities. Many city governments, including the Los Angeles City Council, officially opposed the bill. Opponents worry about what they call a one-size-fits-all approach from the state, fearing that 7-story buildings could suddenly appear next to single-family homes. Assemblymember Rick Chavez-Zabur argued that for many, living in a single-family neighborhood is a lifelong dream, and that this bill could fundamentally reshape his district. To get the bill across the finish line, several key compromises were made. The legislation was amended 13 times to gain support. These changes included adding requirements for union labor on some larger projects, which was crucial in getting powerful construction unions to drop their opposition. The bill also includes modest affordability requirements, such as setting aside at least 7% of homes in new projects for lower-income residents. And it offers some flexibility for cities that are already planning for significant housing growth near their transit hubs. So what happens next? The bill is now awaiting Governor Newsom's signature, which he has until October 12th to provide. But even after it becomes law, don't expect to see major changes overnight. Experts suggest the impact will be gradual. Building new housing projects takes a long time, and economic factors like high interest rates and construction costs could slow down development. One developer estimated that we might only see 20 to 30 projects built under SB 79 across the entire state in the next 5 years. Ultimately, the passage of SB 79 is part of a larger trend. The state of California is taking a more hands-on role in housing policy, sometimes stepping in to override local preferences in an effort to address the statewide housing crisis. Whether this law will strike the right balance between state goals and local concerns, and whether it will truly make a dent in California's housing and transit challenges, is something that will only become clear in the years to come.